Now, this is a jamb right here, and the jamb actually has 4 hinges attached to it, and there's also weather stripping. Now, because this is a hinged right door, this makes it the top of the door. The first thing I want to do is take the jamb, place it on the side of the door. Now I want to take the jamb and slide it up 1/8 of an inch past the top of the door, so I'll have some clearance. Now I want to keep the hinge in that position. I can now open it up and expose the other half of the hinge. Pull it down like that, and be careful not to slide it. Now we're going to screw the hinge to the door, and I'm going to use these screws right here. This is actually a self-tapping screw. If you notice, right on the tip of the screw is a little drill bit. There's one. The jamb on our aluminum door is going to sit right here on a trim. Now I have to know the length of the jamb, so I'm going to measure from the header down to the top of the threshold, and that's going to be 80 1/4. Now I want to subtract 1/4 of an inch for clearance, makes it 80 inches. Now the jamb from our aluminum storm door is going to sit right on top of this threshold, and that's on an angle. To get that angle, I'm going to use my sliding T-bevel. Hold it against the jamb, bring it down until the T-bevel hits the threshold. Let that follow the angle, and now I know the angle to cut my jamb. All right, now we can install the door into the opening. Now, whenever hanging a door, it's important that you hang the door plumb so it will swing right. So the first thing I want to do to check your existing jamb is take our door, put it in the opening, push it tight against the trim. I'm going to take my level and I'm going to hold it against the side of the jamb and see how it reads. I can see that the level is out of plumb. It tells me our existing trim is out of plumb. So now I have to slide the top of the door to the right, bringing it into plumb. That looks pretty good right there. Now I can install a screw in that hole, holding the door plumb. All right, this is the header that's going to run across the top of the door. It has the screw holes in it, and it also has weather stripping. Now what we're going to do is open the door, slide it in back like this, sliding it over to the jamb on the side here, picking it up on top of it. Close the door, and now you can see that 1/8 inch gap that I created by keeping the side jamb long. Now we're ready to install the jamb on the right side of the door. What I'm going to do with this is I'm going to put it into place. I'm going to close the door on it, and I want to make sure that the space between the jamb and the door is consistent all the way down. Now I'm going to put a screw in. And just a few more screws on the inside of the jamb. All right, here's a little trick I like to do. On the bottom of the expander where the weather stripping sits in this slot, it can actually slide out on its own. To keep it tight so it won't slide out of the track easily, what I like to do is take this part of the channel right here with my screwdriver, just hit it with my hammer and bend it over just a little bit. Slide the expander under the door. Push it up. Now close the door. Push it down onto the threshold. Now we'll just screw the expander in place on the inside of the door. And that's it for the striker plate.
Looks good, Tom.
Okay, Josh, now to make sure that the door closes on its own, we're going to use these door closers, one on the top and one on the bottom. Let's start at the bottom. Now that our bracket is in position, I'm going to take the closer, put it into the bracket, put the pin into position. Now I want to put a little bit of tension on it, so I'm going to pull it out a little bit and lock it. To attach it to the door, I'm going to pre-drill some holes for some screws. Now we're ready to put the screen in. Right here on the door there's this little piece sticking out. That's a tongue. On this side of the screen is a groove. You actually slide the groove into the tongue, push it into place, and drop the handle, and now you have a screen door.
And for the colder winter months, we can just switch in the
Right,
glass.
and to remove it, you push this lever up, push the handle up, pull out the screen and drop in the glass the same way. As simple as that.